Guys, how's it going? Um, Today we are going to be planting some cucumber plants, replanting some cucumber plants, and planting some basil and rosemary, which are my two most favorite herbs. They're the best. But I haven't had any in my garden yet. Like, it's middle June, and I haven't planted any basil or rosemary in the big garden up there, and I've really been missing them. So I found some the other day, and I am excited to get them planted. Before we get to that though, order of business is, if you guys did not see my post on Instagram and YouTube, I think I posted it pretty much everywhere for you guys to see, but we have officially launched our own merch. It says EverCrest, always on top, and I am super excited about these t-shirts. It means so much to me. If you guys have been following along with kind of the name change, where we went from the Mythical Mom to EverCrest, and just the heart behind EverCrest and why we changed our name and the meaning behind it. This shirt just kind of encompasses all of that. And just to give you guys a quick overview, if you don't know, if you're new around here, EverCrest is our company. Ever meaning always, and crest is like the top of the mountain. So our slogan is always on top. And that doesn't mean that like everything is always perfect in our life, or that everything's always going great and we're always on a mountaintop experience, because this has nothing to do with situations or what happens in our lives. We believe that we are always on top because the Bible says that we are seated with Christ in heavenly places. And I know I don't talk about God a lot on this channel because I kind of like to just keep it focused on gardening and teaching you guys and showing you awesome products that we find. But truly, that is the heart behind this company. That's the heart behind our name, EverCrest. It's because we believe that we are always on top because we are seated with Christ in heavenly places. And so that's the inspiration behind our name, behind this t-shirt. And we are so excited to make it available to you guys. So if you would like to check out all of the colors and the sizing options, there will be a link in the description below. Now, somehow I'm going to carry my camera, my coffee, and all the plants that I have to get up to the garden up there. Okay, so here are the plants that we are going to be planting today. We have some rosemary, some basil, and some cucumber plants. And a tip whenever you're buying cucumber plants or things like this, be sure to look and see if you can find ones that have more than one plant growing in it, because you can very easily separate these plants. And I have 5 cucumber plants in this one single container that I paid for, and I got 5. This one has 4 and this one has 3. Now, some of you may know, if you have been following me on Instagram and here a little bit, I think I've talked about it. We have been having some major bug issues this year. One of the things that the bugs really got into this year was my cucumber plants. I started a couple from seed inside and transplanted them out, and they got pretty much completely decimated. And then also I direct sowed some cucumber plants, and as they came up, the bugs just ate them as well. So I've kind of gotten on top of the bug problem, I hope, with the bug and slug killer from Bonide. I also used Epsom salts for slugs and borax for pincher bugs. I'm hoping that we have knocked down the population enough that these plants will be okay. Also, getting plants that are a little farther along, a little bit bigger, I'm hoping will help them succeed and get them away from those pests a little more. Now, to separate one of these cucumber plants, what we're going to do is just tip the whole thing out of its container. Set that aside. And we can gently just begin to break apart the root ball. So we can kind of see where the plants are, and just real gently knock some of that loose soil off. And you want to take as many roots as you can with each plant, but just real gently break them apart. So there's one right there. There's another one. And there are our last two. Okay, so we got all of our cucumber plants planted. There's one there, one there, one there. And I'm not super worried about spacing or overcrowding because these sweet peas are going to be fizzling out here over the next couple weeks and going to be done for the season. So they won't be here much longer. I'm not super worried about them. I planted our cucumbers along here, and then I had a couple to finish out over on this side of the fence as well. Next, we're going to go ahead and put our basil in this raised bed right here. This is right beside our tomato bed, and I have one tomato over here. So I'm going to plant my basil right here. And if you look inside this container here, you will actually see a whole bunch of stems of basil as well, just like I showed you with the cucumbers. But I find that basil tends to be fairly finicky. I don't know if any of y'all have the same issues with basil, but sometimes it's just a little finicky. So I'm not going to mess with these at all. I'm just going to plant them in the bunch that they are and let them grow. Okay, there we go. That's a beautiful sight. Basil, it's one of my absolute favorites. And lastly, we have our rosemary to plant, which I think I'm going to try to just tuck it in around here where we have some empty spaces. Things will fill in a little bit more, but I think I can squeeze a few rosemary plants in here. Ah, there's a worm. I love seeing worms in here. This is really clay, heavy clay soil that we deal with in the front of this bed. And there are worms in here. I love to see that. Okay, so here are the rosemary plants, one here, one there, one up there, and then I tucked one in right there. So that's going to be it for today's video. I need to go through and water everything really good, make sure that has a good drink, especially those cucumber plants. When you separate plants like that and really disrupt their root system, they can shock and wilt. So it's important to make sure that they have plenty of water to get used to their new space and start producing good roots. So I hope this video was helpful, and we will see you in the next one.